Hi everybody, this is Erin Lincoln and we're hopping in our time machines to make it to 1960s, and we're going to make a rad ad look on our next paper crafting project using all the fun shapes and stamps in the 1960s kit. As you can see here, this is readily identifiable as the 1960s. And I'm going to show you how to do it. I have about 6 tips for you that they're going to pop up and you're going to see, and of course I'm going to talk about them. Alright, first things first, in order to grab attention on your ad, we are going to use the color red somewhere on your project. It's very eye-catching, it's very confident boosting. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut some shapes out using all the dies, particularly this large trapezoidal shape. And I first cut it out of pure poppy, and I'm going to use the positive shape, and this is out of tropical teal. And this is the next rad ad tip. We are going to use inlaid die cuts for a super slick look. Very fancy. I placed my positive die cut inside my negative die cut, and now I'm layering on these like forked designs, and I'm overlapping them on the color, if you notice. So we're doing inlaid die cuts over more than one layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to preserve the red and the tropical teal, and there's this little bitty little piece that I need to keep. Make sure I save that. So if you do overlap your die cuts in an inlay, make sure you keep track of everything. Alright, I am cutting these little fork designs now out of Aqua Mist, and I'm going to put it all together in this inlaid die cut design so you can see how slick and sleek and very mod this project's going to be. Okay, I have a white card base, and I am going to coat this with adhesive. And I have a general idea where I know everything's going to be, so I'm going to put a little extra adhesive up here in the upper left-hand corner for those fork designs. And now I'm going to assemble my background. Tropical teal, pure poppy, that eye-catching, confident boosting, which is what advertising back in the 1960s was all about. They wanted you to feel confident. They're putting it all together. And it fits together like a puzzle piece. And it's very cool the way how smooth it is, but it has little cut lines. When you do it, you'll understand. Okay, we are going to cut some more shapes, more funky organic shapes to layer. This is kind of like this starburst out of True Black. We're going to put this to the side. I'm just getting the little insides out here. It's a very fine die cut, which makes it a lot of fun, I think. Okay, another thing about the 1960s was color was combined in all sorts of funky ways, almost to the point where it was clashing. It didn't matter. And so for your paper crafting projects, that's going to be really forgiving because you can put all sorts of different colors together. And what we're doing is we're taking this kind of oval shape with a frame, and we're cutting it out of 3 colors: Enchanted Evening, Blueberry Sky, and Aqua Mist. And especially the Enchanted, I think the combination of the 3, it's a little funky in comparison to the Tropical Teal and Pure Poppy. So feel free to, when you make yours, clash your colors as much as possible. That's what makes it fun. Alright, I'm cutting this out 3 times, and I'm keeping both the inside and the outside of the frame. Okay, one of the things that you will notice in the 1960s print work was they would take these organic shapes, which all of our dies in this set are very organic, and they would take a crosshatch design and they would put a pattern on them. So that's why I designed this large crosshatch stamp to be stamped over all these dies and add that very 1960s feel to them. And what I'm doing here is I am taking the corresponding ink color and stamping it on the cardstock color. So aqua mist ink on aqua mist cardstock and so on. And now we're going to put it all together. Rad Ad tip number 4 is the layering and overlapping of these organic shapes. It should be pretty instantly identifiable as the 1960s to have these shapes overlapped, collaged together. And what's great about it, it's very forgiving, I've found. You can do all sorts of combinations, no rhyme and reason. Maybe there's some innate balance that I'm unconscious of while I'm doing it. And, you know, you kind of learn that. You guys probably have that from all these years of paper crafting, where you just have this sense of balance. And in this case, and I've seen this a lot in my research, is these designs are asymmetric, but they're balanced in a way. And I think, you know, it's just something you got to fool around with. It's kind of innate. It's hard to explain, but you'll know when it's right. And I've also found it's very forgiving. Just this layering, combinations of all these shapes. And with all the dies that are included in this set, you have a lot of possibilities here and you can have a lot of fun. I'm actually looking forward to exploring it more. Another Rad Ad tip for you is to include a bold black whimsical font or slogan in the lower half of your print work or paper crafting project. The font we chose in this stamp set is very whimsical, very 1960s, and I worked it into those organic shapes. I've made a chain, and in between the solids, I placed the words, "You're swell," a very confident boosting slogan, just like the 1960s, and I am using the corresponding frames that were cut out with the ovals to frame my words and making it a part of this collage and design. Because it's swell, right? Okay, one last Rad Ad tip for you is to add some space age sparkle. I really think the race to the moon against the Soviets, which is some of my favorite scientific achievements, lots of good shows. I've always been extremely inspired by what those men did. I think in the 1960s, people really wanted to be futuristic and they wanted to keep up with that space age. And so a lot of these designs that you see have like a 4-pointed star. I don't have a die included in the kit that has that, but we can add kind of like a modern twist to it. So tie in the modern with our space age design here by using some sparkle. All right, there is our Rad Ad design. I hope you enjoyed it. Now go and take these 5 tips and apply them to your next project, and I can't wait to see what you have in mind. I hope you're enjoying the 1960s.